stuff on his plate. As he comes, you can be quick. But go ahead, Patrick, and introduce yourself again. You know, we leave it off, but let them know who you are. And get your mic to your face.
Yeah. I just want to say this. They can hear. Everybody can hear. But I wrote down a few things that I wanted to just close with because we introduced this conversation. We were going to talk about Black history and what history was. You said something that was interesting to me, Baba. It is a word play that goes around when we talk about history. And it's a word play that goes around now that suggests that this is his story. Well, there's a lot of truth to that, his story. Because when we really understand what history is, then we can say this is his story. But history had a word before, was a word and a thing before we even referred to it as his story.
That's right.
Because when we look at history and what it is, if anybody could give me the definition of history, I'm not going to look it up. And I don't suggest nobody look it up. I'm just going to give you a definition of what history is. History is when people start to record and document.
That's right.
That's simple as that. Simple as that. No intellectual masturbation going on. That's what history is. You understand what I'm saying? It's when people begin to record events and circumstances. That makes you understand what prehistoric means. That means before people even started recording.
Right.
So when we're talking about history, we're talking about a vast amount of time that it already took place. And when we're talking about Black history, we're not just talking about Black people. See, I hate when we relegate Black history to Black people, just Black people. Or Martin Luther King, Malcolm.
Handful.
History is circumstances and events that have happened. These people emerge because of events and circumstances. Teach your child that. You wouldn't have a Harriet Tubman if you didn't have slavery.
Right. That's right.
You wouldn't have a Martin Luther King if you didn't have civil rights to be fought for. You understand what I'm saying? We got to start teaching the events, the circumstances that bring about these people who emerge as people who we refer to as Black history. Black history is circumstances and events. And since we're going to say that, we also need to say that history is a set of circumstances and events that will continue to happen the way that they happen until you decide to change it. That's why we say it now, his story, because every story we talk about in history, we drawing it from his narrative.
That's right.
That's why I have volunteered myself, Patrick Lumumba, to go into the pre-Ks, the elementary schools, and the kindergarten. You know what I want to do to them? I want to read to them.
Nah.
You know why? Because I have a 30-year-old daughter, I have a 28-year-old son, and I have a 6-year-old daughter. Look at that time gap right there. Paradigms have shifted and changed.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? It's paradigms shifting and changing right now before our eyes.
Right now.
How law is going to be enforced is shifting and changing right now. People think we living in a democracy right now. We living closer to a totalitarianism or dictatorship right now. That's what we living in right now. But we don't understand it because we not controlling no narratives.
Yeah, we don't know history.
And see, I think, and I'm going to close, this church culture that we've adopted, I know how these conversations begin to narrate around church and church culture. We begin to talk about church culture and how that affects the Black community. Church culture, from Patrick Lumumba's perspective, have done the most to cripple Black people from developing into independent people. It has stopped us from being mature people that actually solve problems.
Right.
And think too. But see, these are the times that we have to effectively talk to our people right now. I hope people is listening to us right now.
They are.
Because this is the thing that I'm expressing in this moment. I on social media, since all of us on social media, even the old people on social media now, I spend a lot of time strolling. I seen a brother. I hope they listening. And saw a Mississippi brother named Vincent Brassell. During the storm, when all Black people come together during these calamities, we learn that we are people again. We learn to socialize. You know why? Because you can't go to them other folks in these times. You understand what I'm saying? You can't go to them other folks in these times. So we pull back together. So we need these type things to happen to draw it back together. But we shouldn't need these type things. We should automatically be together. Through good and bad time. So this is what I'm saying. The brother, just to make a specific point. The brother came on social media, Vincent Brassell. And he was standing out in front of his home that had burnt down to the ground. The home had burnt down to the ground. And he said, I'm not a beggar. He said, but me and my children are out of house and home. You can see the house burnt down in the background. You still can see smoke emanating from the house being burnt down. That's how recent it was that he made the video. And he said, I'm not a beggar. He said, but any of y'all got any, thing that you might want to donate to me and my children? Here go my hashtag, my Cash App tag, or whatever it was. And I looked on there, it had been up for 3 hours. And I looked on the comments, 140 comments. I looked down all 140 comments, and every one of them said, I'm praying for you. No, don't play with it. Don't play with it. Yeah. What I'm simply saying is this right here. We have not developed into a mature people. Right. We may be grown, but we're not mature. Because that man was in distress. He was in dire straits. He was showing you. But we have sufficed to understand or to think that prayer is enough.
And let me say this.